when you're winning. Get a goal, it's just the beginning. You gotta sing when you're winning. Everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. You gotta sing when you're winning. Get a goal, it's just the beginning. Sing, sing when you're winning. Everywhere you go.
Hello and welcome to episode 29 of the Sing When You're Winning, a fantasy football league oddity podcast featuring distant cousins of podcast royalty and not one but two very special guests this week. We'll reveal very shortly. Waiting in line for the podcast throne this week are myself, Jamie, we've got Steve, we've got Jersey Chris, and we've got Lee as well. So this week, everyone who introduce themselves will introduce our special guests in a moment. And in honor of our special guests, this is a huge giveaway clue. But I also want to know, have you ever won a competition prize and what for? Like, what's the lamest competition prize you've ever won? Anyone want to go first?
I won, when was this? It must have been in the 90s. I was in a phase of reading GQ magazine. Thought it was dead cool. And I won a mountain bike. It was something called a ProFlex 856, and wow. two and a half grand's worth of mountain bike. Really smart.
Excellent.
Contacted me and said, "What size do you want?" And I was like, "Well, I have no idea." Just looking at it, I'm 5'7", and I ordered probably the biggest mountain bike you've ever seen in your entire life. So I couldn't actually use it. So I took it to this shop in Stockport, and they went, "Oh, you won't get much for that. We'll give you a couple of £100 for it." And I'm like, it's worth 2.5 grand, and I ended up selling it for about £500, but useless. That's the only thing I've ever won of any note.
Yeah, it's a decent thing to win, though. Good stuff. Yeah, I'd be happy with that. Cheers, Lee. Anyone else? Steve, have you ever won anything?
Well, no, you say I don't think I've ever won anything.
Oh, let's have a bit of sympathy for Steve.
What about Nick? Didn't you win Nick's heart? That's enough, surely.
Oh yeah, that's all I ever needed. We're all winners there, aren't we?
Valentine's Day's gone now.
Yeah, I was going to say last week that would have been bang on. No, nothing's happening on the 21st.
But when the actual national lottery started, the first ever winner was like about a mile away from my house. Bought his ticket.
If only
he's dead now.
Been you. What a lovely end to that little anecdote there. Thank you.
Yeah, we're not allowed to gamble over here, so we don't win anything. So there's no lottery here.
Is there not?
No.
Is that just because you're all winners for living on the island? Is that the deal?
Maybe. Yeah.
What a weird backward place it is.
I didn't realise that was a thing.
1980s we're still at.
No fruit machines in the pubs and stuff like that, or?
What's that we say, Lee?
Any fruit machines in the pub or anything like that, or is it just like
no gambling at all. No. We've got bookies and stuff like that. I won a coupon.
Bookies.
Does that count?
You've won a
coupon?
Yeah. All right then. How much did you win?
I won about £280 last year on the horses. On the National. Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, we'll ask you when we come to Grand National Week. You can be our tipster. We'll do that. We'll remember that one. The worst prize I ever won wasn't not that long ago. I won a 2-pack of kitchen roll, which was just really crap. But because it was online, I just claimed it anyway. I was massively disappointed. And then when it arrived about a month or two later, I forgot about it. And we all got excited in the house because there was this big parcel for me because obviously kitchen roll was massive. And then I opened it and remembered how crap it was. So they would have cost them more to post it than it did to make the bloody kitchen roll. But there you go. Random prizes that you can win. But why are we talking about winning things? Well, there is a very tenuous link as fans or listeners of the podcast and we'll be familiar with. So this week's special guests are 50% of the lottery winners. But don't worry, that doesn't mean that they had to share the prize fund. No, it's better than that. We're joined by the drummer, guitarist, and vocalist from arguably everyone's favorite new band from recent years, the Lottery Winners. #1 album last time out with Art Replacement Therapy, and now getting ready to release new album Koko exactly a month today on this Friday morning. And they're already out on tour this Friday morning. But for the first time ever, let's give a very warm SWYW podcast welcome to our special guests, Joe Singleton and Rob Lally.
Hello. Thanks very much.
Hello.
Hello.
How are
Just
we?
very
You good?
quickly, welcome Joe, welcome Rob. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. This Tuesday night, Friday morning, where it's a bit dark on a Friday morning. It always is when we do these podcasts. But
I think
yeah,
we should give up this pretense and just say it's Tuesday night.
we shouldn't. We'll do that in season 2 if we ever make season 2. But believe it or not, Steve, this is the crap that people like. You hold on to these random things.
Well, they'll be wanting the Dream Team Fantasy League results, and we ain't got any because they don't finish till tomorrow. So.
Yes, exactly. It's going to be a mixed up couple of weeks, but we'll come on to that. Shall we have a look at your stats then, Joe and Rob? Your FPL stats, thanks to Statman Steve.
You definitely you can have a look at Joe's. I think Joe's are probably the better ones, but
well, apparently it's the 18th FPL season for you, Joe. So you're a bit of a.
Is it really? Oh, yeah. That's
you're good at this stuff, clearly.
Well, oh yeah, that's sad, that, isn't it?
Well, a lot of us have been doing it.
Literally you've been doing fantasy Premier League longer than you've been in the band.
Well, I'm thinking 80. I'm only 31. Well, how many years?
You've been
I
doing
wasn't
it
doing it.
You've
I
been
wasn't
doing it
doing
for
it when I was
longer than that.
12.
Yeah, you must have been.
Yeah.
It's been part of your life. It's the bedrock of your life is FPL.
Obviously, yeah.
And Rob here, apparently, is it your 4th season, Rob? Was that feel about right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, like, this is the first season where I've actually cared about it. Purely because when I got invited to do this, I was like, you know what? I think there's a manager inside there somewhere, and I can't tell you how wrong I was. But it's been
a tough division.
Yeah, it's quite a tough one because there's loads of newbies that are out when they've caught wind of this whole thing, and turns out they're all actually really good and want to be involved. So it's the best conference league that's ever happened in any world ever.
It'll be easier next season.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe.
Get rid of a few.
Yeah, it's well known that you're in probably the hardest league, to be fair.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and but 4 seasons in, and obviously it's both of your debut SWYW seasons. First time in Sing when you're winning. Joe's currently 6th in the live table, though there's only 4 points between 2nd and 8th in the conference. Rob's in 12th with, as Steve described, playoff hopes fading, but you never know.
Yeah, well, I get these sort of these texts from Steve every now and again. They just sort of remind me of how poorly I'm doing. And
motivational speak.
I've been this close to blocking him because of it, but
there's people doing worse than you, though. There's people doing worse.
Well, that's true. That's true. I look at it. I'm sort of mid-table in a really good league, and ordinarily, as a Bolton fan, I'd be happy with that.
But yeah, you want to go higher.
Yeah.
Joe, sorry to bring this up, Rob, but Joe thrashed Rob in their league game. But Rob knocked Joe out of the Potions Cauldrons Cup in round 2.
Oh,
yeah, that's a big result.
Revenge.
But Rob used triple captain.
Tactics.
You've got to do these things, haven't you? That's what they're there for, being used.
No, but I would have beat you without that. But
the funny thing is about this, we wasn't sure if it was that week. And I was asking Joe for a bit of advice, and he was,
Friday night.
And he was like,
Rob comes and sits next to me at the rehearsal room. Hey, Joe, what do you reckon to this?
Well, I was getting some stick for. I think I was in the worst goalkeeping stats when all the stats came round, and I was like, well, that's Ray's fault. It's not my fault. On paper, he's a good goalkeeper. But
can't argue with that.
Yeah, and then I was like, do you think I should bring Allison? He was like, yeah, that's a good move. Yeah. And then, who else did I bring in? I brought Gakpo in, which has been pointless this week because I kept him in for some reason. And then, it was like, it's probably a good idea. I said, I'm actually a captain. Yeah, all right, okay. Yeah. And it turns out we were playing each other that week. He was like, oh, can't believe I'm just telling you, knocked me out.
Well, I'm focused. I've got to focus on the league. I think I can't be focusing on the cup and league. It's just a nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah,
classically
said there.
Well, you want 2 as well. There's too much to think about with that stuff. But had you realised that who do you both play on the final day of the season?
Oh well, I know it's me versus Rob because Steve told me. So what I was gonna do, so I was thinking this is perfect for me because if I need a win, I'll just pay Rob some money, just get him to throw it, and then I'll get promotion, and then I'll invite him to my promotion party and all that. And I'll just chuck him a few.
How much is that worth?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna start thinking about my wages. This is the most I've ever been paid in the band. This.
Oh, great. Well, Steve's got history on bizarre outcomes and results on the last day of the season. So have a word with him. He can tell you what happened with him once.
That makes it sound really corrupt and seedy. And it's
well, everyone else in the league was like, "What the hell happened there?"
Yeah, Chairman Sepp.
You'd have to ask my opponent, and he's left the league now. So
it's too long a story to go into. I think we talked about it on an old podcast. So go through the previous 28 episodes. You're on a tour bus around Europe. You've got time to kill.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe not. He says. Right, let's have a look. Yes, as Steve broke the illusion that we're not live this Friday morning. We're going out of game week 24 into game week 25, awaiting to be complete. Sorry, game week 25 is awaiting to be completed at the time of recording. So, do we want to go back through the league's tables from game week 24? Have we got that?
No, but I can look at the league tables live as they are, if you like.
Yes.
So, as we said in the Conference League, we've already sort of said where they all are. Pete Martini is still 5 points clear at the top there, although Natalie Pike is now captured him. Natalie has jumped into second place. Ben Halliwell's in third. Neil Robertson's up to fourth now. He's getting good, but all the kind of good people, because when I do that rankings thing from the start of the season, I think Joe was probably the top ranking. Were you, Joe, or something?
Yeah, so what was that off? Was that just off like previous years?
That was just based on your last 2 years, yeah.
Okay.
So I think you were supposed to be number one, but you've not managed that yet. So
this
time, you're not far behind yet. But Neil Robertson, Ben Halliwell, Natalie Pike, they're all similar. Sophie Ridge, they're all similar levels to you, and they're all up. Vicky Sparks as well, and they're all kind of in the top 10. So it's pretty tight up there. If I went into League One, Jamie Hurst at the moment is 11 points clear there. He's beating second place Richard Pipes this week, and it looks like he's going to finish beating him. Ben Hope from Apollo Junction, he's in third. Alex Renton, Stu Kelly is back in fifth. And down at the bottom there, Chesney is winning again. He's beating Magic Ben Taylor. So that'll be 3 wins in a row for Chesney. I think he's only won 6 all season.
Flying high.
But he's going on tour today as well, so that might be the end of his season. With James Blunt, he's gone on tour
in Europe, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's got orders to tap up James Blunt. I don't know whether he likes football or not. And and Vernon, he's on Vernon K tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Live apparently in the piano room.
Good stuff.
Decent.
In the championship, where most of you reside, 2 of you reside.
Yeah.
Where are you, Lee? You're not in the bottom bit anymore. Yeah, you've moved up. I've only looked at top and bottom, so I can't see where you are. But so mid-table. And Jamie, you must be mid-table as well, are you?
I'm exactly where you predicted me to be at the start of the season.
Oh, exactly. Oh, wonderful.
So, yeah, bang on.
But again, quite close. Jim is now 12 points clear if he wins this one. And in the Premier League, we don't really want to discuss that because it looks like I'm going to lose again, which will put me 2 points away from relegation. Faris is catching up now. So I've got Michelle, Faris, Dan, Rick Witter, Nikolai. Some big names going to get relegated this season. Hopefully Nikolai's, because that's a very big name. Glad somebody got that gag. And Mark Soberton leads the way still, and he's been in dodgy form since Christmas, and yet everybody else keeps having all inconsistent form, so nobody's catching him. He's still 3 points clear. Paul Chambers-Tonner second. Ed's last week's guest is third at the moment. Tom Roberts, 2 weeks ago's guest, is fourth. And Leon has now jumped up into 6th place, the travel man, if anybody who listens to the WhatsApp.
Good.
And that's
stuff.
about it.
Good stuff.
But none of that's confirmed because we haven't finished yet because it's Tuesday night.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. This no longer Friday morning.
You shouldn't insult our audience. They know it's Tuesday.
Yeah, but it's like panto, isn't it?
Oh no, it isn't.
Yay! I was waiting. We needed that. It's like, come on. It's Tuesday night. Wake up, guys.
Yeah,
All
move
right.
on.
Yes. Well, there's not one but 2 game weeks coming up before the next pod. I'm going to be very confused and recording that next week.
Yeah.
So let's look ahead to some games in the next 7 days across game week 26 and game week 27. So we'll start on Sunday's game, Man City Liverpool. Which way do we think this is going to go? Anyone?
I'm going to go City. I'm going to go City. I know they've had a not the best season, but I think they're just going to do it. I just think they might pip them. It's not going to be massive scores, but I've also got a feeling that Salah's just out of form at the minute. I know he's kind of scoring every now and then. He's just not playing well. He's scoring against like the poorer teams.
He does well when Rob triple captain him against me. So,
well, has it
really
triple captain's gone now?
He's really dropped off since then.
Yeah, he's literally just got 87 points on a double game week, and you're saying he's out of form.
He's scoring. He's just not playing that well against the team. You know, like it's Salah at the end of the day. I just think his form's just dropping off. So I'm gonna say City. I'm gonna go for City.
Okay. Anyone else?
I mean, I personally, I see a 1-1 draw. I see a low scoring draw. I don't know
see
why.
a draw there. Yeah.
I just think,
I really hope City can beat them. I really do.
You're a United fan, aren't you?
Yeah. Can we take that?
Yeah.
Can we take that and use that for future? I really hope City win.
I never heard
clip
you say
it.
that, and it's just getting a bit too. It's just getting a bit too realistic now that Liverpool are going to win the league. So we need everything for them to be stopped. And if it means City beating them, then I'm all for it.
Well, the next 3 games, I mean, okay, let's be honest, it's Tuesday night. The next 3 games, right? Villa, City, and Newcastle. Things could look very different in a week or so's time. You just don't know, do you?
Problem is that nobody else is good, though, as well.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
Arsenal seem to have blown every time you think that they're going to do something. The state of their squad right now. But we're gonna come on to talk about Arsenal in a second. But Man City, Liverpool, Chris, what do you think?
Well, I've been getting my predictions wrong, so I'm going to go for a Liverpool win.
Right. Yeah, I really hope City win for the sake of the league. Yeah. It's got to be interesting. It's just been boring for a while. So yeah, how about we'll jump ahead to next Wednesday night then? Man United, Ipswich. What do you
4-0 Ipswich.
I mean, everyone. I'm not being nasty, but everyone's winning at Old Trafford these days. So
it's a big 6-pointer. We need to get the points on the board, I think.
You never thought you'd say that. At this stage as well.
If we lose that, then we deserve to get relegated. Like that's just how it goes, I think. Yeah, Ipswich can't be rocking up and beating us.
I mean, no. It's their cup final, though, isn't it? Potentially, you would say they're gonna really go for that. I think
they're gonna want the scalp, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, like when now. Sorry.
No, carry on.
We were going to say, I think, wasn't Amarim's first game against Ipswich, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. That was a long
surely
drive.
a bit of redemption. Yeah, I'm going to say you went there. Yeah. Surely he's going to want to do a bit of redemption there. And do managers still think about that kind of thing? I don't know. But,
I would. I'd have a grudge.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, we found out last week that there's some interesting FPL grudges that happen in this league. So yeah, I think they all do. But yeah, Man U, Ipswich. Anyone think Man U will win?
Yes, I do. I'm going to say they're going to hammer him.
Wow.
They can't be that shit for so long. You know, I'm a Spurs fan, but I'm from Stretford, so I've got a soft spot for United. I don't see how that group of players can play so badly. I heard that there wasn't as many injuries last week as the bench suggested. and it's almost like he's kind of saying, you know, come on, we're not quite as bad. I don't know. I've heard that there's not as many problems at United as are being made out.
Okay.
And I can't see that team getting beat by Ipswich at home.
I can't see them being good though. I can't see them winning ever again. When they just don't play very well. They
didn't play bad.
Goal.
Yeah, they didn't play bad against.
We just can't score. That's the problem. We had so many chances and we just can't score.
Some howlers you missed, weren't there?
And like I look back at this one. It's like the Southampton game where we were 1 down and then Ahmad scored a hat-trick, but he's out for the season now, so we don't even have him to rely on. So yeah, but,
I think a lot.
And you know what the United players are? A lot of them are just dead thick. Like they get in bad positions. They play the wrong ball. It's just so frustrating to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we've got to beat Ipswich. We've got to.
Well, you're a season ticket holder. Will you miss that? Are you aware then? Will you miss that?
Yeah, game? we're in Glasgow, but it's actually moved forward. It's 7:30 kickoff, so should get to see most of Ipswich's goals. So that'd be good.
If you're watching the lads in Glasgow, Joe's going to be in a cracking mood when he goes next Wednesday night.
And Rashford's looking like old Rashford again, isn't he?
Oh yeah, that
I'd
free
love
kick.
to know what's going on there.
I'd just love him to score against Liverpool tomorrow, and then I'll just be happy. It'll all be worth it tomorrow when he scores a winner against Liverpool.
Agent Rashford.
Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
You can see it, can't you?
That'd be
I
good.
hope so. Yeah, it'd be funny.
And this Friday morning, anyone listening will know whether that happened or not. Forest Arsenal Wednesday as well. I want Arsenal to win to keep the league alive, but I think Forest will do Arsenal at home. I can't see Arsenal beating them.
No, good draw again, I think, on that one.
Yeah.
1-1.
Yeah, I fancy a draw. I'm going to go 2-2 with double.
I mean, I usually say I'm a massive fan of the underdog, but they've not even been underdogs this year at all.
No, they haven't. No.
So it's but I think they've still got that element about them. So I think Forest will do them myself.
Yeah,
I think Arsenal will win that.
Okay.
I
think Forest have just been a bit up and down. They win. What did they do? They got battered, didn't they? And then they won 7-0, and then they lose again. And then I think they're just at the stage of the season now where they're just a bit inconsistent.
Yeah, they're very inconsistent. But I just think City Ground, that there's quite an atmosphere there on match days at the moment. So I fancy them to beat Arsenal next week. And I'm normally wrong, so that'd be good.
I'm caught between a rock and a hard place with that one because my father-in-law's a Derby County fan, so I'll have to say Arsenal are going to win, and I'm a Tottenham fan. It just makes me skin crawl a little bit, you know. It's like, oh god, what's that? No, I think Arsenal do. I think.
Yeah. Should be a hell of a midweek games next week though. Match of the day should be good.
Some belters.
But yeah, it'll be live football as it happens this time next week when we're recording the pod. So there's a more mild entertainment for people to look forward to. Let's move swiftly on, as I like to say, and we'll have a bit more of a chat then around Rob, your teams that you love and why do you support them. So I asked this question of everyone. We'll start with you, Rob. Why Bolton? It's probably obvious, but why?
I don't think it's that obvious. Well, I am a stone's throw away from Bolton anyway. But my great grandma's cousin was Nat Lofthouse.
Wow!
Yeah. So every single member of the family then sort of became Bolton fans from that point on, and it sort of passed down, moved down, and I mean, now I look back and I kind of wish it hadn't have happened because I've put all of my heart into such an up and down club, but it's it's the club you're born with, isn't it? It's always a big thing when you sort of get given a club rather than you deciding.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what are your highs and lows of supporting Bolton?
I mean, the almost going bust obviously is was a terrible low. I mean, it was like there was ourselves and Bury, and unfortunately, I don't like to see Bury were a rival of Bolton's for many years. But I don't ever like to see any team sort of go through that kind of thing. We were going through it, and we got a lot of support from across the Football League. So it was it was nice to see. That was a massive low. And then when I get to see players like JJ Okocha and Fernando Hierro and Ivan Campo, like players like that playing at my ground, it's insane. Like for my team as well. Like those players can they'll come and play against us at that time, but then to see them playing for my team is insane. Never thought that I would ever, because like when I was a youngster, my heroes were people like John McGinley, who like nobody would really know who that is, as a layman. But everybody knows the name JJ Okocha, surely, across the board of football.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Good stuff. And Joe, Manu, was it family reasons you got into Manchester United? Or?
Yeah, my dad's a big United fan. So I'd just watch the games with him. But my first year supporting Man United was 1999. Obviously, when we won the treble. So it was just sort of like, I sort of remember the year after and asking my dad, like, why we've not won the treble again. And he just said, like, you'll never see, well, to be fair, he said, you'll never see another team win the treble, obviously, until City did it. So it was sort of the best year to ever support Man United. And I feel like I'm being punished now. Like, it's just it's so bad at the moment, but you've got to remember you've had the highs and you've got to stick with them. You've got to stick with them now.
No, absolutely. So was that the highest and highs and now is the lowest of lows? That's probably an obvious question, but I guess that's the way it is it for you?
Yeah, well, I think the team, when we won the Champions League in 2008, when we had like Ronaldo, Rooney, that team is just incredible, and it was just sort of just watching them play week in, week out was amazing. Yeah. And obviously, as soon as Fergie left, we knew it was going to be bad, but I didn't think it'd be quite this bad so long after. But it just shows how amazing he was and what he did with those players.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the amount of money that Man U have spent in recent times is just crazy when you think where they are in the league. Yeah. But yeah, are you feeling optimistic then, though, about next season? Do you think get the summer out the way with and start again? Do you think it could come good?
I think Amarim's the right man, and I think we have got some good players. We've got some good young players, but we've got too much shite to get rid of. Yeah. And I don't see who's taking him, to be honest. Like, we've got Casemiro a year and a half and left on he's on at $350,000 a week and he can't run. Do you know what I mean? And like, I think until we get rid of those, I don't think we can buy. So I think it's a new system as well and new players, and it's a bit of a mess at the moment. But I think if you give him a full window in the summer where he can actually buy players that fit his system, sell the ones that don't fit in, we'll see. I just hope we do like go on a good cup run, win a cup, stay out of Wembley. That's all you can sort of hope for now. I don't even think we'll finish top half this year, and I actually think we're in a relegation battle. People might laugh at that, but when you watch them, it looks like they've got no idea what they're doing.
Yeah. But if the bottom teams, we had this chat last week on the pod, like the bottom teams are so bad. It's the likes of
they are, but we've still got to play them though. Do you know, like we've got to play Ipswich and we've got to play these teams, and if they turn us over, do you know,
I'd be very surprised. I'd be very surprised.
Well, I'd be very excited if that did
happen. We're not going to lie.
There'd be some good away days next year if we did go down.
Well, we won't be playing Leeds.
That's true. The way you're going definitely won't be.
Fingers crossed there. I'm not exit.
You've just jinxed it now.
Leeds cannot blow it, surely, from here on in.
I don't think so. I've never been more comfortable with Leeds than this season.
I like having Leeds in the Prem because it's 6 points every season, isn't it? Yeah. We absolutely smash you every time. That's
last time. The last time we were there, we were literally, anytime we played anyone, Liverpool, Man U, I thought, well, we're just going to lose 5, 6, 7 here. It's ridiculous. But hopefully we'll be a bit more conservative next time we go up.
It's better in the Championship. Like, why would you want to get promoted? That's the thing.
It'll be a season of misery, no doubt.
Yes. Cool. Right, we've got some homework questions. We always ask the panel member to do their homework. The dogs are getting involved this week as well. They've been thinking some questions. If you can speak dog, I don't know what that question was. You might want to answer it. But I'll start with a question. Go with this one. What's your collectively? You've probably got different ones, but what's your favorite track on the album Expecting to Fly?
That's by the Blue Tones, by the way.
Yes, that was another test. You know what the album is, and hopefully you do. If you know,
is this question for us?
Yeah, for both of you. Yeah. No, this is specific questions to you two now.
Right. Okay.
So you mean off our album and not like Chesney Hawks' album?
No, off the Blue Tones album, Expecting to Fly. Trust me.
Right.
Yeah, if you listened every week, there's a very weak gag goes through the first question that I ask. It's lost on most people. But yeah, what's your favorite track on the album Expecting to Fly by the Blue Tones?
Say Slight Return.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's Slight Return on there, but it's not, right?
It is on there.
It is on that one.
The debut album.
Slight Return then. Yeah. Slight Return.
Do you not think Vampire's better? No. I'm going to move swiftly on.
I'm
not pulling myself into that.
I love the way that bemuses people every week when you do that, Jamie.
It does bemuse people. It was your idea to do it, Steve. I think it's a great idea.
Who was the one? Who was Nigel? Was it Nigel Clark when you kept asking him what he could call MasterChef or something? He's like, I've never been on MasterChef for about 5 minutes.
But if you did, what would you do? We'll keep it going. Next week, we'll ask somebody. Whoever's on next week, we're going to ask you a question about the lottery winners. So just be prepared for that if you're on next week. That's what we do.
I'll be prepared for them to know absolutely nothing about us.
Yeah, they're going to be as confused as I am.
Tune in next week. Yeah, what's your favourite song on Art Replacement Therapy, guys? Whoever it is. I don't even know who's on next week.
It's another musician next week. So.
Oh. We'll keep that.
Is that a secret? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a secret.
Jamie doesn't like it when I give guests away. So.
Yeah, you got to keep. We've blown the fact that it's not a Friday morning anymore, guys. Do you know what I mean? How much more disappointment do we want to give our remaining listeners after week 29? But yeah, next question. Your new album, Koko, is coming out next month. Is it true that fellow Sing When You're Winning manager Rick Witter is appearing as a special guest on that album? Is that true?
That's true. That's a fact, yeah.
It is a fact. Can you tell us about how that came about? Was that because obviously you toured together a little bit recently in the Museum Gardens gigs and stuff?
Yeah, we've done a bit of touring with them. We've done a full tour. I say a full tour, half a tour with them. Yeah. And then we did a couple of extra ones we jumped on, and they did their big Museum Gardens one, which was stunning, like an amazing gig.
Yeah.
But it's somebody we've always admired. Like Rick's voice is incredible. And just the way that they do their shows is insane. We're like, we're gonna have to work with them somewhere down the line. We do a lot of collaborations anyway. And yeah, Tom had written this song, and it required that sort of 90s indie voice, and it's so aligned that Rick was available and Rick wanted to do it.
Oh, awesome, good stuff. So we'll get to hear that in a month.
Yeah, we did try to get Paul to do the guitar solo on it, and he was like, nah, you do it. And I was like, okay. And that's fine by me. More money for me.
Right. Good stuff. But yeah, it must be exciting with you waiting for the album to come out and touring. Because was there a slight delay on the album? Was that due to distribution of the vinyl?
Yeah, due to manufacturing errors, I think was the term that we used.
Yeah.
Also known as Sam Fender.
Oh, right.
So Sam Fender's releasing. What are we Friday out? We're still Friday.
Yeah, it's out today. It's out this morning. Yeah, I've listened to it already.
Yeah, great.
What's your favorite song?
My favorite song is "People Watching" by far. I think the lead single was great.
Yeah, so we knocked it back a whole month, but like with things like this, you can never tell what's going to happen and who's going to happen, and it so turns out that now Selena Gomez is also releasing the same day as us.
Right.
But yeah, it's not Chesney's as well, is it?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Chesney's is the week after.
Chesney's is the same day as Elton John because he's been putting it on Instagram. That's how I know that.
Okay.
So the big hitters are all out over the next couple of weeks.
There you are.
Good stuff. Right. Other panel. Who's done the homework? Lee always does his homework.
You know what? I've not this week actually because I've kind of because I knew who was coming on, I just thought I'll see what I'll ask on the day. So because I've kind of known about the lottery winners since Joe's been doing fantasy football. Yeah, I saw him in the Plough and like places like round in Wigan where I used to live. Got 2 questions. So first one is, will Ugly Baby be back, and will Ugly Baby be doing a tour?
Wow.
And the other one is, Tom talks candidly about like ADHD and stuff, and what's the craziest idea he's come up with where you've had to go, no, we can't, not a flipping chance of me doing that. There must be a few, but what's probably the worst?
Well, to answer your first one, just to bring everybody up to speed, not that anybody's going to be bothered at all, but I appreciate it, Lee. Ugly Baby was a one-off gig that I did. That was my name for one gig. I called myself Ugly Baby, named after the Beautiful South song, My Book. We've had some ugly babies, but no one quite like you. That's one of the lines from that. Anyway, that's by the by. Possibly, if I get bored, I might do some more stuff. And yeah, what was the second one? Tom. We find it very hard to say no to a lot of his stuff because what he does come up with is very creative anyway, regardless of whether it's nuts on paper. But we've got this way of finding things out, whether we think it's possible or not, making it happen, just making stuff happen. We're good at doing that. There's like music video ideas.
Yeah, I was going to say the music video idea is what I was going to say as well. For the tune Superpower, which is all about having ADHD.
The alpacas and everything.
Yeah, so he just said, I want the video to be what's going through my head. So I was like, all right, yeah, sounds so just write down what's going through your head. Oh my God, we can't ask. So then
there's not enough A4 in the world.
Yeah, so we sort of like set a date for the video, and it was like, right, we set about getting all these. It's nuts. It was a mad day filming. Like we just had all sorts of people arriving. Being like, oh, Tom's booked us, and I was like, well, what are you? And it's just like some bloke on like,
don't know yet.
Some bloke on like a penny farthing. I was like, all right, and what you doing? He's like, oh, just cycling around, and then there's some girl with a birthday cake, like roller skating. Yeah. It was in your old high school as well, so it was a pretty surreal day.
Yeah, there was like one of the guys who said, oh, I didn't know you was in this video. It was a guy who knows, tattoo artist. Yeah, I'm just tattooing my daughter. My daughter's 4 years old, by the way. So it's just, if you look closely in some of this, there's a tattoo artist sat tattooing a 4-year-old. Like you said, a girl with a cake on roller skates. Weird. Yeah. All the band are in Zorbs at one stage. Yeah. Kate's dad's in it, but just sat facing the other way, doing nothing. It's just bizarre stuff. And like, guy in a penny farthing. Some massive puppets. It's mad, but that's that kind of stuff. You can't say no to it because you're like, this is gonna look good. Yeah. It's crazy stuff, but it's always gonna look good, and it does. That is the best video we've ever done. To be fair to him.
Yeah, your social media is brilliant as well. Like you keep people engaged and everything. It's really kind of up there, which must be different from like 10 or so years ago.
Yeah, I mean,
social media wasn't as popular.
Well, itself has become like almost like a full-time job. The majority of the time, that's the kind of stuff we're putting the effort into, rather than doing because everything happens so quickly, and you can be here 1 minute and gone the next. So you got to keep yourself a little bit relevant with it. There's no TV shows out there anymore, really. There's a few, but not as many as there once were. Like The Word or stuff like that, or TFI Friday, even like things where bands will be playing as a major part of it. That kind of thing isn't around as much anymore. So you've got to find a way to be relevant at where most people look, which is at the phones.
Yeah. No, it's a very different world, isn't it?
I think so.
You could have had Chris in a cheerleader outfit. That'd have been
good. Well, to be fair, we did have all the teachers turned up because they were wanting to be involved, and then we just bought loads of fancy dress. Went to the charity shop, bought like jockey outfits. There was like clowns knocking about, and all the teachers were dead keen to get in it.
Yeah. Your best mate was a mime, wasn't he?
Yeah, my best mate was a mime.
It was like, this is the car, right? I was like, it doesn't matter. You'll be in it for 2 seconds, and you've not got any lines.
Chris has probably got a jockey outfit as well, have you?
No.
You liar.
Go on, Chris.
What's his band in Jersey?
You can gamble on. You can have a coupon though. You can have a coupon. So, Chris, what's your question?
Yes, you guys played in Jersey. Well, played on Jersey last year, didn't you? My friends were looking after you, Helen and Jamie, and they said that you were absolutely a delight to look after. They actually saw you in Glastonbury a couple of years before, and they were raving about you the whole weekend. The best band they seen in Glastonbury. So, as you're growing up, what kind of influences did you have? Like, which bands were you kind of obsessed with?
Do you want to go first, Joe?
Yeah, so I was just into like indie, straight, like your Oasis, your Stone Roses, and then sort of like when indie, like early noughties, like the Strokes, and then as soon as Arctic Monkeys came out, that was me done, and I was just like any indie band that was about in early 2000s, I'd heard of them and I loved them, and that's just loved indie.
Yeah, I mean, with me, it was like my dad was my main music influence, in the sense that anything when we were driving around that he'd be playing in the car. My dad was an old punk, so there's a lot of old punk stuff that get played. But he had a love for all kinds of music, from his early stuff to what was coming out at the time of me. But it was bands that I was really not necessarily going to pick up myself. Bands like the Beautiful South and stuff like that I wouldn't have probably gone out my way to listen to the length that I did. So yeah, it's sort of bands that my dad played all the time. Really, they were the ones that influenced me, that made me want to play. I mean, weirdly, my favorite band of all time are the Beatles, which sounds like a really basic answer, but that was one band that my dad just wasn't into, and I don't know if that was sort of kind of why, whether it was a bit more like, I'll try and find my own thing. Yeah, I've got these. You'll never heard of these, Dad. Turns out I was well wrong.
Would you come back over and play on Jersey?
Well, I was going to say, like, I really enjoyed that. I think that was our last festival of like the summer. I think it was the start of September.
Yeah.
And we flew out, and it was a beautiful island, and like we stayed in like a nice hotel, and it was a great bill. I'd definitely go back to it.
Well,
good.
I think the one thing that was annoying for us is that we flew in, saw the island a tiny little bit, played, and flew back out the next morning, and we never really got to explore. And I think we'd want to do that next time if we were doing it again.
We'll take you up for a beer next time if you stay a little longer.
Yes, please.
But it was funny because the airport's tiny, so like the morning back we were flying, and all the bands that had played were just all on the airport. So it was her from Texas, Charlene. She was knocking about with a duty free. Yeah. And Jamie Webster was on the same flight back to us, because the day after it was United versus Liverpool. So we flew back to Liverpool, and he jumped on the bus and went straight to Old Trafford, and I jumped straight back, and we were both going to Old Trafford, and obviously we had very differing afternoons. But no, yeah, really good.
It was a mad lineup, that, like, it was for like, for what's essentially just an island, to have those people that'll come out and play that show and make it as good as it was.
Yeah,
like,
it was like the Darkness, wasn't it? They were sick.
Darkness were great.
Yeah,
Texas were unbelievable. Like, I forgot how many songs Texas had.
Yeah, I thought I only knew like 2. I was like, oh, this is a tune.
I mean, like, my knowledge is a little bit greater of that, to be honest, Joe. I know there was definitely more than 2, but it was like it's like she opened with I Don't Want a Lover, and that blew my mind. I was like, how can you play such a massive song first? And then she played Halo second, I think, and I was like, oh, right, okay, because you've got all these. And it's like, it's crazy.
Great stuff. And then, Chris, you've got your tour guide next time you're over there.
Yeah,
he's volunteered.
Yeah, easy stuff.
Take me to the bookies.
What a fantastic callback. Lovely stuff.
Thanks,
Well done.
All good stuff. You can tell you guys are being trained. Steve, what have you? Last question from you. Or have we got any listener questions this week?
No, we don't actually. I did mean to tap some people up for a listener question, but I didn't get around to it.
I think the Blue Tones were going to ask you a question, but they were disappointed you'd never heard of their debut album. So.
Yeah, I definitely heard of it. I didn't know that was the debut album, to be honest.
But yeah, it's 3 Blue Tones in the league, so there's only 2 of you, so they've outnumbered you.
That's true, yeah.
I would go with. I don't do my homework on these. I never do anyway. No. Enough stuff to be doing. But as a band, as you sort of grow and you get more albums out, when it comes to the kind of writing or producing stage of things, do you kind of think we're going to have to do something that's radio friendly, or do you think we're going to have to do something that's arena friendly or something like that?
I don't think that gets thought about too much. I think we are a bit more bothered about what we think sounds good to us. I don't think, like, once upon a time we might have looked at something and gone, you know what, we should probably do this for this, for this amount of people. It's like they might prefer it to sound like this, but then you just don't enjoy doing that. So what's the point?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to speak as, because me and Joe aren't really writers. We get involved to some respects of it, but
I just bang stuff at the back. That's all I do.
But yeah, I think when it comes to Tom's writing, I don't think he thinks about that. I think he's more bothered about what he wants and it just so happens that a lot of people seem to like it as well.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, like we got quite lucky this time round with, and I say lucky, it's not lucky, never luck. You know, you always work for it. But with you again got A-listed on Radio 2, and that's the first time I've ever been playlisted on Radio 2. So it was
well, it was B-listed, and it spent a couple of weeks at B-list, and then it got upgraded to A-list, which was quite good.
That's great. At one point, every time I got in the car, it was on Radio 2, which was brilliant. It's like, I was like, when did Radio 2 start playing good music? So,
there we go.
That is the station for good music these days, to be honest. It's
because all the Radio 1 people have migrated to Radio 2
yeah,
now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's what it is. That's because we're getting old.
I was going to say that's because we're all getting older, that's why.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, shall we play a different version of Sing When You Win in Superfan this week? So normally we have one guest and we test their footballing knowledge and see how many questions they can get correct in 90 seconds. And they try and see if they can topple Jim Daly, who's got 7 in 90 seconds, which is pretty good. But this week we're going to do something a bit different, so you don't need to worry about the league table trying to get onto that. It's literally, we're going to find out which one of you is going to come out top of the football knowledge of the two of you from the lottery winners. I mean, how would Tom and Katie get on? Are they big football fans or?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what the questions are. If they were loaded questions, I think you'd be all right. But yeah. I think me and Joe are definitely the bigger football fans out there.
Bigger football fans, right? Cool.
Joe, I'd say Joe more so. Joe knows a lot more about football than I do, depending on the era, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, my era is a bit iffy. Like if it's anything past 2000, fine. But if it's anything before that, I've no chance.
Well, these are all random questions thrown up by ChatGPT, which
okay. So you're knackered up.
Some of them are crap, genuinely, and I might not realise it as I'm asking the question, and we might have to go back. Oh, sorry, guys, I've asked you a bullshit question there. But today it's a bit different. So we're still going to do 90 seconds. So, Steve, are you all right with the timer?
Yep.
And at the end,
Are we doing this one at a time? I take.
No. This is again head to head. You're going against each
other. Rob loves quizzes, by the way. He loves quizzes, so he is so excited.
And the bit you might like the most, Rob, is you have to do your own buzzer.
Excellent.
So tell me what your buzzer noise is, so I can try and decipher it while reading the questions out.
Go on, Joe. You do your buzzer noise first.
Well, because I know this is your. I'm just going to say my name. So my buzzer is Joe.
All right, fair enough.
Oh, that was going to be mine, that. Then in fairness, I'll say Rob.
All right, fair enough. That
Why
keeps
not?
things nice.
It's nice and boring. Yeah.
Yeah. And
so who's going to judge who says what first then? Chris or Lee's going to have to say who got it first, because if they're both snapping it straight away, we're going to have some arguments.
Lee can decide who goes first. This is going to be very complicated. And Chris, you can keep the score. So can you keep the score for both and tell us at the end who won?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, this could depend on whose Wi-Fi is better more than whose knowledge is better than it.
Yeah.
See, he's already coming up with excuses here.
Well, you just froze for me, so I don't know if that's my internet or your internet.
I was thinking.
Sorry, it was.
Play triple captain, Rob.
Yeah. There you go.
Right. Okay. Well, this could be a complete mess, but hey, it'll be mildly entertaining for people, hopefully. Right. The 90 seconds will start when I ask the first question, and as I say, shout your name out, and we'll go from there. So the first question is: which team won the 1998 FIFA World Cup?
Rob.
Joe was the quickest then. Sorry, Rob.
France
is correct. Who scored the winning goal for Germany in the 2014 World Cup final against Argentina?
Rob. Was it Miroslav Klose?
No. We'll move on. It was Mario Götze. Close. Götze, sorry. Who scored the goal that secured Leicester City's Premier League title in 2016?
Joe.
Yeah.
Jamie Vardy.
It was. I mean,
I didn't want to go for it. I didn't want to go for that.
Didn't it, to be fair. Go. Which ex-Premier League club was known as the Trotters?
Rob.
Yeah.
Bolton Wanderers.
Yeah. Sorry, it came up. It was just weird that it came up. Who is the only player to score 5 goals in a single World Cup match? This is from 1958, by the way. If you don't know,
Rob. Oh God, no, 58, not a clue.
Joe.
Pele.
No, it was Just Fontaine. Who was the first manager to win the Premier League with Man City?
Joe.
Yeah.
Roberto Mancini.
It was. Which country hosted the 2014 FIFA World Cup?
Joe.
I'd say Joe got that one.
Yeah, Joe.
Brazil.
It was. Who won the Premier League Golden Boot in the 2013-14 season with 26?
Joe. Yeah. Robin van Persie.
No.
That's what I'd have said. Rob, Wayne Rooney.
Luis Suarez, apparently. And which manager guided Chelsea to their first ever Premier League title in 2004-2005?
Jose Mourinho, was it?
It was, yes. And who scored the first ever goal in the Premier League?
Joe.
Yeah.
Brian Dean.
It was Brian Dean.
And question last week.
We did, yeah. But I thought it was a head-to-head, so it doesn't matter. I thought I'd keep it in. And who is the only player to have won the Ballon d'Or while playing for a Premier League club?
Joe.
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
No. Who is the only player to have won the Ballon d'Or while playing for a Premier League club but without winning the league?
Rob. Michael Owen?
It was Michael Owen, yes. Are we at 90 seconds yet?
I was just waiting for you to run out of questions.
I was thinking we've gone way over 90 seconds here. I'm asking loads of questions this week.
Keep going. I'm enjoying it.
Go on. Yeah, I tell you what, we'll ask one for luck. We'll ask one more question. There's about 70 odd questions here. I wouldn't run out.
All right.
Because I just ask it to come up with about 70 odd so that I can flick past the nonsense ones. Okay, so final question. Who scored the fastest goal in Premier League history? I don't know if this is true, but in a match for Tottenham Hotspur in 2000. Joe, I think.
Ledley King.
Oh, surely not.
10.3 seconds against Bradford City. It was Ledley King.
Oh.
And I'm sure I said my name first then as well.
Yeah, but you also didn't know it was Ledley King, so...
I didn't know it was Ledley King.
Controversy. Well, Chris is going to tell us the score. Hopefully, you didn't win it by 1, and we can then not have the controversy. So
I really hope I didn't win it by 1.
He's won it by about 3, I think. It was 3 or 4.
Yeah, so Rob scored 3 and Joe scored 6.
There you
go. There you go. Well done, Joe.
Well done, Joseph.
Well done.
I think Joe might have pushed Jim there if he'd had a go on his own.
I think he would have as well. But yeah, we'll put you both on the scoreboard. So Joe, you're with quite a few people in second place on 6, and Rob, there's a couple of years on 3 as well.
Well, I mean,
thought if I would have done it on my own, I would have known Rob's questions. He was just faster.
I also knew Joe's questions. So can we, if we're doing, on
do it again.
Let's do it again. Do it again.
To be fair, Steve also gave us about a 5-minute quiz instead of 90 seconds.
That is true. That is true.
Because I thought I can't stop and go because I was getting bored of my own self.
I thought, seeing as Lee was doing a bit of VAR, it was stretching it out a bit, so I thought we needed a few extra seconds.
So yeah, people driving along listening to this going, bloody hell, it's been a long 90 seconds. So we're not having an update on Bletchley Scott because they're still on a mid-season break. So yeah, they'll be back playing football soon. But do you guys know about the team Bletchley Scott, the team that we sponsor as a league?
No, tell me more.
No. Well, back last summer on the WhatsApp group, our Carl from the Terrace, our league sponsor, got in touch to basically say that the shirt that Lee was just displaying there, modelling, I think his lad plays for an under-15 side in Milton Keynes, and they needed some money for kits and stuff like that. So as a league, we clubbed together and sponsored the club, and he created those "Sing When You're Winning" football tops. You can also get one as well. So if you're looking for any merch to wear on stage on tour, you can wear "Sing When You're Winning" top. There you go. I'm sure we could get the Terrace to get in touch with you on that one.
Well, I'm not sure I'm not sure how they look underneath the suits. But you never know.
Well, you can wear a football top anywhere, can't you?
That's true,
the way it works. It's the way it works.
I'm sure Carl will discuss a merch deal with you anyway.
I'm sure he would. Yeah, I'm sure he does some of the band stuff, doesn't he? But yeah, that's Carl from the Terrace for anyone who's watching on YouTube. So there you go. We all have our Terrace mugs. So it's time for the final part of the pod. I'm sure you're gutted at that at the thought that you want to get to bed and get sorted for your tour tomorrow morning. But yes, I've got a random...
No, we're already on tour. It's Friday.
Yes, Friday morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where were you last night again?
Best gig we've ever done.
Where were you last night again?
Bristol was in Bristol last
Bristol,
night.
yeah.
What a night. What a start to the tour.
We woke up this morning on the sunny coast of Bournemouth.
Oh, lovely.
Amazing stuff.
That fight was unsavoury though, wasn't
it? But it happens all the time at our gigs.
It's just no need.
It's raucous.
But yeah, so we know, well, we're going to do a bit of shooting stars in a second, but because everyone who knows me knows that I just can't resist the fact that you call the lottery winners and not have some weak link into a feature. So basically, I've got the list of the hotspots in the UK for where the most millionaires are. So just out of nothing other than you are the lottery winners. Do you know where the most lottery winners come from? Of all the regions in the UK, anyone have any idea?
Actual lottery winners, I don't know.
Yeah, so the most millionaires,
Northern, I imagine.
Most millionaires come from Birmingham, believe it or not. Midlands have had over 1,000 millionaires since the lottery started, compared to Northern Ireland with only 195. But in Yorkshire, where a lot of us are, how many do you think millionaires? Between 500 and 1,000, how many do you think? It's a shit feature, but I'm going with it.
I'm going to say 702.
700. Ooh, it's close, that.
Well, do we get a prize for the closest on this thing?
I mean, yeah. Okay, yeah.
£1 million? £1 million?
We'll have to have a word with Camelot. Yeah.
If one of you wins, then there's one more.
609.
609, or no, it's somewhere between the two. Does anyone care enough to chip in?
Okay.
681. We're going to move swiftly on. So there you go. But yeah, if you want to win the lottery, go and buy a ticket. Not in Jersey because you can't apparently. But go and buy a ticket in Birmingham, because Birmingham is the place to be. They've had over 200 lottery winners in Birmingham alone. So next time you're there,
pick up a ticket.
Get doing that for sure. So yeah, we're going to finish things off now with, again, I know you guys said that you don't really listen to the podcast, so this might be new to you. But can you remember Shoot and Match magazine?
Yes.
Did you used to read those magazines?
Yeah, I've scanned through them. I'm not much of a reader.
All right, fair enough. Well, they used to do, and it's kind of quick fire questions. They did it in Heat magazine more recently. So it's random nonsense questions, just to find out some silly facts about you, essentially. So, well, I'll ask you a question if you both want to take it in turns to answer those questions. So first one, what would you do if you could be invisible for a day?
Go on, Joe.
Joe, go with you.
I think I'd just stay in bed. I don't know. It'd be a bit weird to just be out invisible. What do you mean?
Well, you could do anything in the world, though, couldn't you? If you could be invisible, you wouldn't get caught.
I'd sneak in somewhere for free.
That's the one, isn't it? Sneaking in places.
Yeah,
getting something for now.
Yeah,
basically.
Have a read of what Steve Sutton said. We've said it before, but I'll move swiftly on. What, if anything, frightens you? Does anything frighten any of you guys?
Man United getting relegated.
Yeah, I'm not much of a fan of like near-death experiences, if that counts.
I think it does count. I think you're allowed to be scared of near.
Rob's scared of wasps.
I am scared of wasps. That's it.
Yeah,
no, I count that on the near-death experiences, Joe.
It depends. If you got stung incorrectly or badly, then it could be, I guess.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Who's your favorite cartoon character?
Oh God, that's weird, isn't it? I don't know.
Wallace from Wallace.
Oh, that's a great shout.
That's
a great shout.
I'm
going to say Gromit.
Gromit from Wallace. Gromit. Oh, the 2 years of in heaven. Then you'd be watching all of those on the tour bus. Then
from the fictional town of Wigan, apparently.
Yeah, they are.
West Wallaby Street.
If you were forced to seek a new job tomorrow, what would it be?
Guitarist.
Oh, don't do that, mate. It's not Alex catch up to me. I don't know. I always used want to be a teacher, like a school teacher, but we've done some stuff in schools recently, and I've changed my mind completely on that. They're all a bit nuts. I don't know. I'd love to do something in the like in a bar, like hospitality sort of thing. I'd love to do something like that.
Yeah, good stuff. And final two questions. First one: have you ever been mistaken for someone else? Either of you?
No, not really. No, you don't. We quite often don't get recognised at our own gigs.
Right.
That must be quite. Not so much me, more Joe. Right. Joe's had to queue up to get into one of our gigs once.
Really?
Yeah.
Shocking. Did you have to have a word with the bouncer in that?
Well, I'm not a very confrontational guy, so I was just stood in the queue, at the back of the queue, because I didn't want to push in.
Yeah.
And then everyone was ringing me like, "Where are you on stage?" And I was like, "Well,"
a little look out the window, and there he was.
I'm at the back of the queue, so I think I had to get one of the other three to come in.
Yeah.
And then the bouncer was just like, "Well, why didn't you tell me?" And I was like, I don't know. And it was just a weird, awkward experience, as you can imagine.
He's also been handed one of our own flyers as well in the past, and he's had to sort of point at his own face on the thing, and they go,
"Yeah,
oh yeah, no, it's you, yeah."
The worst one is taking photos of the other three with somebody else, and they pass me the phone to take the photo. Mainly because I'm terrible at photos as well.
Oh, do you do that on purpose? You think, right, I'm going to screw you off?
No, I actually don't. I actually try my hardest, and they still just come out shite. So,
so the other job you wouldn't be a photographer, essentially.
No, I wouldn't. Absolutely not. No.
Cool. And the last question, and we'll wrap this all up. What is the first car you bought, and how much did it cost? If you have a car, even. I mean,
I've never ever bought a car. And I've still not got one.
Fair
enough. When I passed my test, my mum and dad bought me my first car, and it was Nissan Micra. And the idea was that it didn't go over 60 mile an hour, so I couldn't be done speeding in it. So when I used to have like a full car, you had 5 people in it, it used to shake and would not go over 50 mile an hour.
That's like a bad version of the film Speed, isn't it?
Yeah, I sort of
literally the
it,
opposite.
And you know what? To be fair to it fitted a full drum kit in and a passenger.
I'm surprised at that.
Yeah, excellent. I was as well.
Good stuff. Well, thank you so much, guys, for being great sports on this week's podcast. Good luck for the rest of the season, and we'll be watching on that last day of the season to see who comes out victorious and whether you're both up for it. One of you might be going for promotion, one of you might be going for playoffs. You never know.
I think I know.
Well, there's confidence. There's confidence.
Maybe call it when you go into it and Rob's taking a minus 100.
I'm already rebuilding for next season. We'll be being signed.
We will be watching Rob Scott team sheet that week, though. Yeah, see if there's any dodgy deals going on. But yeah, don't forget, everyone listening, you can follow us on Twitter at SWYW _FPL. The double underscore is always important. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave us a comment. You can ask us an FPL question. We might even discuss it in next week's show, where we'll be joined by another top musical guest who, as Steve said earlier, we're keeping it a secret for next week. So enjoy the double game weeks ahead, or 2 game weeks ahead. Thanks to Chris, Steve, and Lee once again. Enjoy your footballing week. Keep on singing and keep on winning. Goodbye.
Bye.
Right.